What's up, everybody? I hope y'all are doing well today. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. It's a beautiful day out here today. I hope you guys have been having a productive week. Listen, a lot of obviously updates in the news and the markets, everything. A lot of stuff going on. But the fact remains that the denominator matters and you should be running your own race. Running your own race, understand that the denominator matters, studying how you can make your money work for you in an efficient way. For those that are new, my name is Jordan. I'm the CEO of SimpMe. And what SimpMe does is we teach people about freedom literacy. So we may be teaching individuals about budgeting, investing, saving, understanding currency versus hard money, and whatever it may be. And just building a community of like-minded individuals and just people who have expertise in certain areas to teach people about how they can better their financial situations. For us, we like to call that freedom literacy, right? Working in a way that will allow you to, be able to make your money work for you. Because at the end of the day, I think that's what a lot of people struggle to understand. They don't really know how to do such a thing. They may have issues with some of their financial situations. They may not even know where to start. And that's why we built the SimpMe platform as a way to help bridge that gap for the individuals that are curious and trying to learn. What I wanted to talk about today is why the denominator matters in the whole brand. You guys probably see a lot of the messages, tweets, posts that I share on social media about the denominator matters, but it's a very important concept, right? And I think for me, to kick things off, I'll use an example as it pertains to sports. Think about the NFL or the NBA, whatever league, whatever sport you like. There's a certain amount of people that can own teams in those leagues. And not to mention, new teams in the NFL or the NBA, they don't just pop up. Why? Because if there were a ton of NBA teams that could be created, it would dilute the value of the existing NBA teams. It would make the valuations that the owners and the exclusive individuals that own a stake in that business, it would make their ownership and their equity and their value diluted if everybody could start an NFL team or if anybody could start an NBA team. Like I said, you don't see MLS teams, you don't see Premier League soccer teams, whatever league it is, you don't just see them popping up all over the world. It's a very extensive process in order to get a team to be created or even to allow the league to approve such a thing. And the same concept applies within currency versus money. That's why I like to explain it that way, using analogies and using different things in common individuals' lives, everything that we see, everything that we live, everything that we experience, something that may relate to you to understand why the denominator matters. When you apply that same logic and that same concept to currency versus money, it starts to make a little bit more sense. That anything that's printed into thin air is devaluing what you work for. So when you go to work, you get paid in dollars, right? So if you get paid in dollars and some individual goes to the bank and they get a loan to buy a home and they get a mortgage, those dollars, that mortgage, that loan was printed out of thin air. It was created out of thin air. There was a loan that was issued to some individual or originated and then given to some individual based off their credit score or whatever that allowed them to qualify for that mortgage. And as a result, that could be $500,000 that's being used to pay and buy a house through a mortgage. Now you go to work every day and you work for your dollars, right? And that's great. If you have a job, whatever you do, you may have your own business, you may work for a corporation, you're working for dollars, you're working for currency. And if you're watching this from another country, maybe you're working for your local currency. Maybe you live in Japan, you get paid in the yen, or maybe you get paid in euro if you live in Europe, or maybe you get paid in the Indian rupee, whatever it is. The fact remains that the currency that you're working for is how you get paid. Day in, day out, you work, and then bi-weekly, weekly, monthly, or whatever, you get paid. Those dollars, though, that an individual gets to go buy a house and a mortgage is printed out of thin air. So that's the real construct that a lot of people don't realize, is that anytime money is printed out of thin air, which essentially is what's needed to prop up the entire financial system, the debt, it's devaluing what you earn every day at work. Hence the reason why people will say, oh, well, you got to go buy these real estate properties, and you got to go buy this investment, and you got to go buy that, and you got to go buy this. Well, if the currency worked the way it's supposed to, or the money, and it wasn't debased, you could save in money that isn't getting devalued. That's the whole construct and the difference between currency versus money. Something that may be hard money is gold. Gold is money. Everything else is credit. Silver is a hard money. Bitcoin is a hard money, in my opinion, and a lot of other people's opinion. They believe that Bitcoin is a money because you can't print it out of thin air. It's not debasable, right? Like a lot of the characteristics of money and what makes something a good money applies to Bitcoin. But if you don't like Bitcoin, understand how gold is money. Gold is money because, one, it can essentially be a store of value and it can't be printed and debased. It's also pretty divisible, not as much as Bitcoin. Harder to transport, but you could go anywhere in the world with a gold coin and somebody would take it, right? So it's not like people wouldn't take it if you tried to use it, or like you wanted to cash it out for whatever, or use it to go get some, whatever your local currency is. You have one gold coin, and one gold coin 20 years ago is still the same gold coin. The only difference is that gold is able to buy you more things per 1 ounce. Same thing with something like Bitcoin, and same with silver, but especially with those two, gold and Bitcoin. That's the difference, because the denominator matters. You're not just printing them out of thin air. You're not just printing gold coins. You're not just like randomly just going here and say, hey, yeah, we're gonna just go print some gold coins. You can't do that. You gotta go mine it. You have to go like hire people to work to do it. With Bitcoin is mined, and there's a certain amount of Bitcoin that circulates in the entire ecosystem, and every 10 minutes there's Bitcoin block rewards that are paid out to miners in the network. So it's like essentially a consensus system everybody agrees upon in the protocol. Most people don't understand that. They just look at the dollar denominated price of gold, of Bitcoin, of silver, and they just view that as an investment. Hard money is not an investment, it's money. Currency is printed out of thin air, and it constantly is going to debase your time and energy if you just save in currency denominated assets. That's why it's very important to understand that difference. If you don't, you'll slowly but surely realize that inflation, especially monetary inflation, is going to erode and eat away your buying power. You want to be able to buy more things, not less things, with your money. And as it currently stands, and as it always will stand in a currency-based system, you will always buy less with currency. Hence the reason why people are always trying to sell you different investment products and financial products. Say, hey, you can get this key yield, and you can get this cash return, and you can get this. All the while, the real problem is that the currency is fake and it's printed, and the money is what lasts generations. So that's essentially what I wanted to explain, right? Like using that NFL example, explaining to you the properties of hard money versus currency to understand the difference. And like I said, you could go and read and verify everything that I'm saying. Don't trust what I'm saying. Go verify it. Go read up on the history of money. Go read up on the civilizations that existed prior, and the powerhouse civilizations and empires, and how money worked. I actually have a video that I recently made about the Roman Empire and how that whole Roman Empire situation is very similar to, you know, the American Empire and the US dollar system. Check that video out for starters. It's on my YouTube channel. But at the end of the day, you have to do what works for you. Make your money work for you no matter what. Understand the difference between currency and money, and protect yourself, because the cost of everything is going to continue to go up. It's very important. And the message, the denominator matters, has resonated very well with a lot of people. A lot of people have been, you know, sharing it on social media, messaging me, and I appreciate that, you know, tagging me in posts on Twitter, Instagram, whatever. And that makes me feel good. It makes me feel that, you know, the message is resonating with folks and people are learning and looking into what that means. We also have some Denominator Matter shirts. Got the long sleeve here, got the short sleeve shirt here, and literally I'm actually on my way to bring some shirts to a supporter that just, you know, is super into the vision, learns from the SimpMe platform, is gonna be rocking the merchandise, and that's what it's about, spreading the mission. If you do want a Denominator Matters t-shirt, I'll drop the link in this video below. And either way, like I said, share the video with somebody that you think could learn from it. Also drop comments below if you want to learn, right? Maybe there's something that doesn't make sense what I'm explaining. Like I said, this isn't a video to sell you on Bitcoin, or sell you on gold, or sell you on silver, or sell you on stocks. All I'm trying to explain to you is that the denominator matters, and there's power in scarcity. So whatever you own, you want to own things that retain its value over time, not things that can just be printed out of thin air, because anything that's printed and abundant is devaluing your time and energy depending on what you're working for and what you're saving in. So keep that in mind. Always remember the denominator matters. If you like this video, like, comment, share it with a friend, and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well, because we'll be coming with more heat every single week. All right, y'all. Peace out, and I hope you guys have a blessed day.